Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories. 2 days after the United States relocates its embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, Guatemala has followed through on its promise to relocate its own embassy to Israel's capital. Senior Hamas official Salah Bardawil admits that 50 out of the 61 Palestinians who were killed along the Gaza Strip's border fence with Israel on Monday were members of Hamas. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan vows that Turkey would enlist on behalf of the Palestinians, who will put all of its resources at their disposal to thwart Israel's ongoing attempts to steal Jerusalem from them. 2 days after the United States relocated its embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, Guatemala has followed through on its promise to relocate its own embassy to Israel's capital. Guatemalan President Jimmy Morales and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attended the festive embassy opening in an office complex in southwest Jerusalem. Prime Minister Netanyahu warmly welcomed the Guatemalan embassy move, asserting the strong affection in Israel for the Central American nation.
There's a Guatemala street right here. It's about a kilometer from here in Jerusalem. There's a Guatemala street in many cities and many communities in Israel because we remember our friends. And Guatemala is our friend.
Primer Ministro Netanyahu, sepa que el pueblo de Guatemala será siempre un amigo para su país y a partir de hoy, con un hecho importante que es el retorno de la Embajada de Guatemala a Jerusalén, estamos reafirmando nuestros lazos de amistad y hermandad hacia el próspero pueblo de Israel.
As noted, Guatemala is the first nation to follow in the footsteps of the United States. That said, several nations have already indicated their intention to follow suit, including Paraguay, that has announced a scheduled inauguration by the end of May. Meanwhile, senior Hamas official Salah Bardawil, during an interview to a Palestinian media outlet, revealed that 50 out of the 61 Palestinians who were killed along the Gaza Strip's border fence with Israel on Monday were members of Hamas. The revelation did not come as a surprise to Israel, which has dubbed Hamas as the key instigator of the violence, accusing the Palestinian group of taking the protests hostage for its terror-related activities.
תראה, קודם כל, אני עוד פעם רוצה להדגיש, הנהגת חמאס זה חבורת קניבלים שמתייחסת גם לילדים שלהם כחימוש. יש להם חימוש רקטי, יש חימוש אישי ויש חימוש מסוג אחר, הילדים או אנשים.
Prime Minister Netanyahu also commented on the statement made by the Hamas official during the inauguration of the Guatemalan embassy in Jerusalem, vowing to continue to protect Israel by all means necessary.
אני שמח לומר שהיום לפחות ראינו שהיה יום יחסית שקט בגבול עזה. זה טוב. זה קרה בגלל ההיערכות הנכונה שלנו ובגלל הנחישות של חיילי צה"ל. שמגנים על גבולותינו. הם לא מגנים מפני איזה הפגנה אזרחית. זה מהלך מלחמתי של החמאס. דובר החמאס אמר היום שכ-50 מ-60 ההרוגים הם אנשי חמאס. אנחנו יודעים מספרים דומים, ולכן ישראל תמשיך להגן על עצמה. ככל שדרוש, ולא תיתן למי שקורא להשמידה לפרוץ אל תוך גבולותינו ולאיים על יישובינו. אנחנו נשמור על מדינת ישראל.
While Hamas's leader in Gaza, Yahya Sinwar, said in an interview with the Arab Al Jazeera news network that his Islamist group has reached agreements with Egypt not to deteriorate the situation into a military conflagration, he warned, however, that if Israel spills a lot of blood, Hamas will have no other choice but to use military resistance. Nevertheless, leaders of Palestinian factions announced their continued efforts to rally their supporters against Israel, calling on all Palestinians to participate in daily activities until the 5th of June, which is the day the Palestinians marked Israel's capture of Jerusalem from Jordanian occupation during the Six-Day Middle East War of 1967.
توجه إلى جماهير شعبنا الفلسطيني بالمشاركة بالفعاليات اليومية والأسبوعية في كافة أماكن تواجده وصولا إلى 5 من حزيران ذكرى احتلال القدس، وأننا مصممون على استمرار مسيرة العودة وكسر الحصار.
Now to a related matter, Islamist militants opened machine gun fire from the Gaza Strip toward Israel yesterday on several occasions. While the IDF reported no injuries, the Israeli Air Force retaliated by striking several militant targets in the northern Gaza Strip. The IDF stated that 7 targets were attacked, including infrastructure belonging to the Islamist Hamas organization, including a weapons factory. Now to the Turkish capital Ankara, where President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has once again condemned Israel for its defensive resolve along the Gaza Strip and said that if Israel's actions were met with international acceptance, the world would devolve into chaos and be ruled by bullies. Speaking at a dinner on the first day of the Muslim month of Ramadan, the Turkish leader asserted that the majority of the international community had failed to react to the events in the Hamas-run territory, accusing the United Nations of losing its capacity to fulfill its role.
İşte Birleşmiş Milletler bütün bu olaylar karşısında bitmiştir, tükenmiştir, çökmüştür. Zira Birleşmiş Milletler adalet tesisi için vardır. Ama şu anda ben Birleşmiş Milletler Genel Sekreterine hukukumuz ileri derecede olmasına rağmen ulaşamıyoruz. Şayet İsrail zorbalığına daha fazla sessiz kalınırsa dünya hızla haydutluğun hakim olduğu bir kaosa doğru sürüklenecektir.
President Erdogan further vowed that Turkey would enlist on behalf of the Palestinians and will put all of its resources at their disposal and would not let Israel steal Jerusalem from them.
Tüm dünya gözünü yumsa da biz İsrail zulmüne rıza göstermeyeceğiz. Filistinli kardeşlerimizin sadece kalbimizde değil, tüm imkanlarımızla yanlarında olmayı sürdüreceğiz. Kudüs'ün İsrail tarafından gasp edilmesine asla izin vermeyeceğiz.
The events in Gaza have sparked a diplomatic row between Turkey and Israel, with both countries expelling each other's senior diplomats in what appears to mark the worst diplomatic crisis between the two regional powers since normalizing relations in 2016. Now to Brussels, where the European Union announced that it will continue to preserve the nuclear agreement with Iran despite the decision by the United States to pull out of the deal. To this end, the EU will launch intensive discussions at all levels with the Islamic Republic in the next few weeks.
We are determined to ensure that the JCPOA stays in place. We know it's a difficult task, but we are determined to do that, and we have started to work to put in place measures that help ensuring that this happens. This is true on the European side. We've seen the same willingness and determination on the Iranian side.
While the determination by European states to preserve the multinational nuclear deal with Iran is adamant, their aspiration to do so is challenged by Washington's decision to reimpose crippling international sanctions on Tehran, a move that will dissuade major European corporations to follow through on business with Iran at the expense of the United States. While comments by European leaders urged for a united effort to overcome the challenge by U.S. sanctions, the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker admitted that the EU's means to keep the deal alive were limited. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at TV7israelnews.com or TV7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. For more updates from Israel and the region, please join our Facebook page at TV7 Israel News. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.